He didn't carry my name, didn't share my blood, but he was there in the rain and pulled me from the mud. He didn't wear a crown, didn't shout out loud, but he stood beside me when no one else was around. Maybe he showed up late, maybe he made mistakes, but when it mattered most, he did whatever it takes. He fixed my broken bike, held my trembling hand. He wasn't perfect, but he was my kind of man. He stood, he stayed when the world walked away. He loved in his way, and I thank him today for every door he opened, every wall he broke through. He may not be my father by name, but my heart knows the truth. She may not look like a dad, but she took on the weight. She fought for me fiercely and taught me to pray. Auntie, teacher, neighbor, friend. Sometimes love wears a different face, but when it shows up strong and sure, it leaves a holy trace. To the men who listened when I had no words, to the ones who lifted even when it hurt. You may not be in photos or have your name in lights, but your shadow walks beside me every day and every night. He stood, he stayed when the road got hard. He gave me grace, and I'm still here because he stood.
To every father, by name or by heart, this song is for you.
Welcome, everyone. This is Majesty Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us. Now, this is a special day. So, happy Father's Day to all those who are fathers, whether biological or not biological, and all those that step into the role of being a father or a dad. It is an honorable role to step into. And thank you very, very much. So we take this day to honor the men who raised us and the ones who tried to. A day to remember the quiet protectors, the loud cheerleaders, and the reluctant huggers. That would be my father. And the ones who simply showed up in the best way they knew how. You know, people argue sometimes and they say, why can't you do this? Or you didn't do that for me, and you were so this or you're so that, and you never give me this, you never give me that. That that argument is so vivid in my mind because I had it not too long ago with my brother. And I pulled him aside And I said, you've got to stop these grievances, this nonsense. You've got to stop. Those two people gave us the best parenting they knew how. And at the time, the best of them. So how dare you? How dare you? Now, I'm not taking away that, some people are not meant to be parents, right? But for the ones that stuck around, thank you. We know you did your best, the best you knew how. So I was wondering where Father's Day came from. So Father's Day has its roots back in the early 1900s, born from a daughter's love. Her name was Sonora Smart Dub. She wanted to honor her dad, a Civil War veteran who raised six children alone, while Mother's Day had already become a tradition. Father's Day took a little longer. I wonder why. Because we don't always know how to celebrate quiet strength. There you go. Right? Um, but that's the thing, isn't it? Fatherhood often doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with sacrifice, with getting up early, staying up late, saying I'm fine when they're anything but fine. I think of my own. I'm going to get emotional. Pull it together, dude. I think of my own father. Um, I'm blessed to still have him in my life on this planet. Recently retired. he's, he's he's so cranky. He said, "I've had enough." he's he still has. Oh, baby Jesus. He called me one day and he said, "Listen, can you find out about this?" And he gave me all this stuff to find out about government this and government that. And I said, "But Dad, you're not really retirement age yet completely." I was like, "Don't you have a few more years, I think?" He's like, "I've had enough." He's like, "I'm done." He goes, "I cannot handle any more stupid people." Oh, baby Jesus. He's like, he's like, how many times do I need to tell this is how you do that? This is how you do this. He goes, we hire these people with with the hope that they'll work out. And he goes, what's with you young people also? Don't you? I'm like, Dad, please, please stop. I'm not your therapist. Basta. So, anyways, he is retired. So um he's he's a great great man that I think with old age he he's become more open and more expressive. I don't know if I told you folks any of this, but a few years ago, actually not too long ago, um we were on holidays and we had just had dinner and we were by the beach and just chatting and having drinks. And something came up, and I started to recount a story. I didn't think was anything, um, because I was a child. I didn't remember exactly like whether my parents were around or not, but I was we were talking about this particular thing. So I started to recount the story as how, you know, I saw it, and this is what happened and this is what happened and so on. And my parents got really quiet. And I finished the story and they didn't say anything. And I was like, okay. And just a few minutes later, because my parents have their own sort of signals that they use that I still have to decipher. Like I do not like I think it's like my mom will give my dad a look, or he will give her a look or something, and then very quickly they're like, okay, well, we're tired, we're gonna go to a room, bye. And they leave, right? So that is what actually happened. And I didn't think much about the story I had told. The following day for breakfast, they didn't show up for breakfast. They're like, "No, you folks, you kids go. Um, we will have breakfast later." And for lunch, they didn't show up for lunch either. So I was like, "What's going on with these two?" But they had said that they were going to, go and go for a walk and go to the markets nearby and so on. And for dinner, we had booked this really shishi fufu restaurant. And so we were all dressed very nicely. uh, Together we sat down, and we ordered drinks. And my parents were still very quiet. And then my dad just said, he goes, I want to talk to you. And I said, yeah, Dad, what's up? And he couldn't, mm, he couldn't get the words out. And I said, Dad, what's wrong? I said, whatever is it, whatever it is, like it's gonna be fine. I said, you don't need to tell me anything or whatever. And my mom looked at me. She goes, he needs to talk to you. Let him speak. And I was like, okay. I and he said the same thing. He goes, just give me a moment. I need to talk. And he said, I'm so sorry. Oh God. Whew. He goes, on behalf of your mother and I, we had no idea. And I didn't realize that the story I told them the night before had such a great effect on them. Um, I mean, at the time as being a child, like it does have an effect on you as a child, but as you grow older, you start to realize certain things, and people's stresses. And I mean, my parents can be in a million places at a million times, and in every place and so on. So he started to apologize, and I've never seen my dad cry like that. Mind you, I haven't seen my dad cry really. He was so remorseful. He said, all your mother and I ever wanted to do is to protect you kids, make sure you had a good upbringing, make sure you didn't want for anything. And to think that he just said, it was so sorry, son. I'm so sorry. I am, I will share that as a sickly kid. So you folks know I've told you that story a million times. Um, and I said I was bullied a lot, but I was also being bullied or physically abused, actually, um, by someone um, who was supposed to be taking care of me. And she would hit me all the time for. Anyways, um, I need to stop for a minute. Okay, all right. Now I have to debate whether I leave that, whether I'm going to leave that in or not, or I'll edit it out. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, what a dilemma. Well, if you end up listening or hearing this story, obviously I left it in. And if you don't hear it, then none of this matters. But um, my parents had hired someone um, to take care of me. As I said, I was very sickly. I was you know at any moment, um, and she was a very very mean woman, and I I was already a very quiet child. I became even more so quiet and insular because if I would ask for something or needed something, she would get very bothered by me. And as a child, the way you interpret that, or the way I did anyways, I thought, well, I'm the problem. There's something obviously wrong with me. And she was quite abusive towards me, but my parents had no idea, none at all. And the conversation we were having was around growing up and childhood and experiences. And then stuff came up about my brother and how much trouble he would get into and all this other stuff. And that person came up in conversation too. And my mom was saying, "Oh, well, she lives in so and so now, and she has these many kids, and blah blah blah." And I just kind of said, "Oh my gosh, she was so mean." So I was telling them, I was like, because it's not, I don't hold that baggage at all. Like it's not anything that I hold on to. I just saw it as, she was an angry person in that time and moment in her life, I guess. I don't know. Um, but it was really rough to then experience that moment, seeing my dad get so emotional and seeing the man, that is stoic in many ways and silent in many ways, so beautifully be so deeply human and apologize to me. And I mean, we were we were at the table that was just in tears at a very shishi fufu restaurant. And I was thinking at the moment, thank goodness that there's not too many people here because we were just, I don't know, sobbing a little bit there. But I think it brought us even more closer as a family. And we all hold these secrets and we all hold these things that we don't talk about. That was something that I don't even doesn't even affect me today, right? It's something I've dealt with, and I've let it go, right? And it's not a burden that I carry. So when I was telling them the story, it was just sort of nonchalant for me. But when I realized for them, excuse me, it was the first time they've heard that story, and the first time them finding out that their very sickly child that wasn't supposed to survive past the age of 8 was being, you know, physically abused. Um, and they were paying this woman, I guess, a very good amount of money. Anyways, that is not. I don't mean to bring this down. Let's bring the mood up. Let's bring the mood up. I was talking with my father. I was talking with my dad in general. So I don't know if any of you folks did this, but did you call your dad differently as you got older? Because I did. So I I I remember distinctively starting out calling my father like daddy, right? I wouldn't dare to do that. When I hear, and I'm so sorry if anyone does call their dad daddy, like all due respect, right? But because now that name, like daddy, implies so much more. It's so weird to call your father daddy. But anyways, I was a child, and it didn't have those implications at that time. I think I'm not sure. So I started with daddy. Then I remember distinctively one day I was riding my bike, and I kept thinking, I can't call him daddy. Like that sounds wrong. So all of a sudden, and it's so weird when you try and test it out. So I remember I needed to, like, because I had these other friends that sort of lived further from our house, and I was like, I want to go. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm like, Dad, Dad, and he didn't respond, right? And I said it a few more times, and then he looked back and he's like, what? Look, what? Why are you calling me that? So I don't know if he kind of got it. He was like, okay, this kid now thinks that he's like whatever. So he wants to call me dad. And then from dad it became papa. So I started calling him papa. And I go between calling him father and papa. So when I need to lecture him on something or I am very upset, and I'll be like, Father, you need to listen to me. But when I'm good, I'm like, Papa, come on. So I don't know if you folks had that. I certainly did. And the other thing too that we did, which was very odd as sons, we forced, I think, him to be affectionate with us. So it wasn't until we were teenagers. Um, we would come home and start like hugging people, like our mom. We always hugged and kissed our mom, but dad knows, so it's just like, yes, hi papa, and hi, okay, bye. Um, and then we kind of, I don't know when we started, but we were just like, no, I want to hug. We started hugging our dad, and he's like, what are you guys doing? So now it's sort of customary. It's like completely fine. One of the things that is very funny about my father is that if you ask him for something, I remember when, I learned to drive and I needed to borrow his car, because I wanted to drive his car, um, to go gallivanting or whatever on a Friday night or Saturday or whatever. And I would be like, you have to prep my father, okay? So you start at like 4 p.m. and you start to prep him, because you don't ask until it's like maybe 8 or 9 p.m. That's when you ask, but you start to prep that you're going to ask. Once you ask, you have to also tolerate the vera- the the history of the car, um the way you should drive the car, um, and all this other stuff that every single weekend I'd be like, Father, you told me that already. I know this already. But you would have to kind of tolerate it. And then my mom would be like, why did you take my car? And I was like, I don't want to drive your car. I was like, no. Ah, the silliness. But he would, make a big deal out of everything. So if you ask for anything, he'll make a big deal out of it. Oh, blah blah blah, oh, blah 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 blah, and you actually think, all right, I give up. Like I'm not gonna get this, so he's not gonna agree with me. Okay, it is fine, right? And if it's something like that, I don't know, for example, the car, then he'll knock on your room or wherever you are. He's like, here's the keys. Here's the keys. Go, 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 go. Remember everything I said? Remember everything I said? It's like, thank you. Or you're asking for something and you're like, that costs too much money. Blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not getting it. And then, like, 2 days later, it'll be like you show up from school and it's there and you're like, oh my gosh, did you really do that? Did you buy it? Well, you said you wanted it. Well, you better take care of that because blah 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 blah. And it was just so beautiful. Um, the only thing that I hated having to do the whole thing started at 4 o'clock, and then like, oh, it's so tedious. Um, but just pure love. Um, I want to say also because it's just gonna hit me as I was talking. For some of you who are listening, I'm sure that this day holds other types of emotions. Maybe your father is no longer here. Maybe he was never truly there to begin with. Maybe he walked away. Maybe he was not a person who was meant to be a father. Maybe he just didn't know how to love. Um, I hear you. I see you. And by the grace of God, right now, I feel you. And I honor you. I honor you. Because you're truly special. I celebrate the ones who 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 stepped in when he stepped out. I honor the ones, the uncles, the mentors, the godfathers, the single mothers who wore two hats, the friends who became fathers in every way that counts. We honor all of them. All of those special people that God sends into our lives to play a role that sometimes we don't think we need, but God knows that we do. So today, whether you're celebrating with a call, a hug, a memory, or a tear, oh my gosh, um, know that this space is for you. Okay? Today's episode is a song, a story, as a sanctuary for fathers who loved and love. The ones we miss, the ones we grieve, the ones we become, the ones who are still here, still learning and still teaching. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and I'm so sorry. Oof, okay, let's get some music.
He didn't say much, but he always sang, and that's enough. That's enough. He fixed the fan with duct tape, taped the windows in the storm.
He knew how to light a barbecue and always kept the rice warm. He wasn't one for talking, but he'd teach you how to drive. And even if he yelled a bit, you'd make it home alive. He danced like nobody watched, even when his back would ache, and told the same old stories with the same old dad joke face. He was always there, siempre va, in the morning light, en la madrugada, in the car at school, en la carretera, in my worried nights, como una estrella. He may not have said I love you out loud, but his love was everywhere in the crowd. He gave too much, forgot himself, but smiled through every bill. You catch him napping on the couch, but never standing still. He'd cheer you on in quiet ways, from sidelines in the sun. And when you thought he wasn't proud, he'd say, that's my son. And if he cried, he'd turn his face and wipe his tears in pride. 'Cause real men love in different ways, and real ones never hide. Though he was always there, presente papá, in the grocery line, en cada lugar, with his tired hand, con fuerza sin fin, still holding mine, como un Javier. He may not have worn a crown of gold, but he gave me a heart worth more than gold. Gracias, papá. Siempre contigo, siempre en mi hogar.
I know a man that can pass for Superman. But this Superman sometimes has a tear on his cape, or one in the air that never escapes his eyes, and I've come to realize that his strength lies in me. I know a man that can pass for a strong man. Not because he never nags or complains about his pain, but because even broke he can still afford a joke, to seem cool and woke, can afford the audacity of a smile. I know a man that can pass for a good man, or at least he tries to be. He has a temper, but underneath that temper is a lump of sugar that tastes like contagious laughter. He has the heart of a fighter, is a giver, and a big believer of me to be the best I can be. I know a man that can pass for a soldier. He has the anxiety the size of the vanity of the world he's exposed to, and still tries to protect me. He loves me so much that he bolts the door at night and clutches his light at twilight, watching and waiting to pounce on anything that takes flight. He gives up sleep so I can find rest. He gives his best and still does the rest. I know a man that can pass for a leader. He carries the weight of his responsibilities a little too smoothly. But just because he carries them lightly does not mean it's not heavy. Does not mean he does not grow tired and weary. See, I know a man whose love is unconditional. A man whose favor is not transactional. A man with tender affection, so pure and original. He is a walking figure of God's love from above, and so my gratitude is intentional. I want to give him everything because he already has everything to lose. I want to care for his things because one day I might have to step in his shoes. And I might never get to choose how long his days or how long he'll stay. So I want to treat every day like his Father's Day, over and over again. Babami, happy Father's Day.
Ain't never liked me. What law is there to say I got to like you? Do you want to stand up in my face and ask me some damn fool-ass question like that? Talk about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day? As long as you living in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me. Yes, sir. You eat every day. Yes, sir. Got a roof over your head. Yes, sir. And clothes on your back. Yes, sir. Why you think that is?
'Cause you like me.
because I like you. You is the biggest fool I ever saw. It is my job. It is my responsibility. You understand that? A man got to take care of his family. You live in my house. You sleep your behind on my bedclothes. You put my food in your belly because you are my son. You are my flesh and blood, not because I like you. It is my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand, don't give me my money come payday because he liked me. He give me because he owe me. Now, I done give you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life. And liking your black ass was not a part of the bargain, and don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not. You best make sure that they are doing right by you.
How come you ain't never liked me?
You okay? What's up?
You're gonna be mad.
Sometimes you're gonna have to tell me stuff that might make me mad, but you shouldn't be afraid of that. Talk, puppy.
I miss Mommy.
Why would that make me mad?
Because when I talk about her, I feel like I'm gonna cry.
So cry. You think men don't cry? I see Michael Jordan crying. He's the most manliest of men. And I cry sometimes when I think about Angel. Listen, in this life, you're gonna see men who think being a man means wearing expensive jewelry, driving crazy cars, and whooping anybody ass who look at him sideways, but that ain't no man. Don't get me wrong, you gotta be tough. Protect yourself and the people you love. Sometimes you gonna have to scrap and I'm gonna prepare you for that too. But a real man ain't afraid to love. He ain't afraid to be hurt. He ain't afraid to forgive. A real man stays no matter what. Okay, puppy? That's my little man. Yeah, I guess that. Look at that thing. Get you some little strawberries. I know that's your favorite. Now eat your whatever you want to eat.
That's some really good advice your father's giving you, Beto. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just had to meet you. I'm Angel, your father's friend. The one he was talking to you about. Beto, in this life, you're gonna meet people that you will love who are really afraid and who need a lot of patience and time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me?
Baby, I am sprung on you. I just need you to know that if you choose all of this, Beto and me, I got more than enough love for everyone.
I know you do. I know your heart is big enough to hold all of us.
You okay?
The next song came about many years ago. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were, as teenagers, we were complaining about our parents. And he said, "Oh, I wish my mom was like your mom." And I was like, "Yeah, everyone wishes their mom's like my mom. I don't think so." And I said, "Well, there's stuff about your dad that I wish my dad was like, you know what I mean?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes like, "It'd be really great if we could like build them, like put the things that we need and then build them." And I thought it was the funniest thing. And in my diary, I have a heading that says, "Why does God give us the wrong parents?" And I wrote whatever I wrote, but it's not until years later I heard someone saying, when you pray, maybe it was Oprah, when you pray and you ask for love, God sends you love. But it's not going to be in the way that you expect it to be. You see, God is going to send you people that are broken, people that you will need to love and show love to. And it goes on in regards to to what we ask for, and that God always answers our prayers. It's just not the way we expect it to. So I went back and I revisited the entry. I read it and I thought, oh, how shallow. How shallow, Antonio, how shallow. But I wrote then that we don't know what it is that we've been prepared for many times. We all come to this place with a mission. If we choose to walk that path and trust in that path, and maybe we had awful parents, awful, because there are people who are just awful. I don't know if everything is meant to be the way it is. I struggle sometimes with that, even though I do believe that God has a plan for each and every one of us. But sometimes, you know, I sit in my solitude and I say, hey, like, what's that all about? Like, come on, this person's a really good person. Why do these things happen to them? But I continue to have faith. And in that discovery, the next song and what the videos you just saw, little clips, were a demonstration of different types of fathers. And who says that we are not here to teach them? And they are here to teach us. In the lyrics of the song, I have a line which that some fathers raise you by holding you, some by letting you go, and some by simply showing you what not to repeat. And all of them, in their own way, make us whole.
He didn't know how to say I love you, not in the way I wanted it said. He held his feelings like a secret, only showed them when he bled. I used to wonder why God gave me him when others had someone soft and kind. But now I see with older eyes, maybe he was mine for a reason. Maybe he came to teach me strength, the kind that grows in silence, the kind that watches from afar, but still shows up through defiance. Maybe I was meant to teach him too, how to hug, how to cry, how to bend. And maybe love was always there, just hiding in the end. Maybe I got the dad who didn't know how to dance, but stood up in the shadows and still gave me a chance. Maybe I got the dad who wasn't quite ready, but taught me how to rise when the world felt heavy. And maybe, just maybe, he was mine for a reason. There are dads who sing lullabies, and dads who build with stone, some who leave 1,000 times, and some who never leave you alone. There are fathers made of fire, and others made of grace, but everyone somehow leaves a trace. To the father who tried, to the one who failed, to the one who stayed, to the one who bailed. You were a chapter in my story, not the whole of who I am, but I thank you still, because I became Maybe I got the dad who taught through pain, but his lessons helped me dance in rain. Maybe I got the dad who couldn't say a word, but somehow still I know he heard. And maybe, just maybe, he was mine for a reason. Some fathers raise you by holding you, some by letting you go, and some by simply showing you what not to repeat. And all of them, in their own way, make you whole.
My dad has always liked fixing things. Feels like he was always in the middle of a project. And sometimes he'd let me help. There was this one time where partway through changing the oil, he left me in the garage for a little while. By myself.
Are you okay? Nick? Open the door, bud. Whatever it is, it's okay. Just let me in. But, looks like you had yourself a bit of a battle in here, huh?
Now, do you remember when you were a child and you did something and you knew all whatever was going to break loose, right? And you, in your child mind, you're trying to find a solution. I remember there are times where I prayed for an invisibility coat or something. I did once lock myself up in the bathroom and trying to figure out whether I would ever come out of there, and thinking the only way out of this problem is me doing something horrible. Everyone came and said, "Come out, Antonio, it's okay. Open the door." I would not. I did not open that door. And when my dad got home about an hour later or so, and he came to the door and he said, "Open. Let me in, and I'll come in and I'll talk, and you and I can talk." And I remember just either the way he said it or something, I felt like it was okay. It's incredible, I think, that as we get older, we forget the innocence and the playfulness of children. I think it's rather sad that we do. I think we should always keep parts of ourselves, of our mind, open for fantasy and play, to be creative and just go into that world again of wonder. Too often we yell at our children for things that really at the end of the day does not matter. Really does not matter. And I think that I got from my mom. Something quite expensive would break or fall or something, and it's not that she wasn't upset over it, but there was no sense in now making this accident or whatever happened to punish the person or to tell them that they are worth less than this piece of artifact. Anyways, I love that little short film. Absolutely love it. I would like to, because we're coming to the end of today's special episode, I would like to show you some stuff I've been working on, and it's going to premiere next week, Saturday, June 21. So June 21st. I'm still thinking about the timing, because I want as many of you that can attend to attend. So I'm just going to hit it so you can see sort of a little bit of a preview. Hit it, maestro.
And she's like, "Show me the new home." So it's very mixed emotions. Here's our new home, but she's like having a lot of pain. She was holding.
You watch my body.
I asked for peace,
What if love wasn't just a feeling, but a revolution? From the creator of Majesty, Sussex report comes a bold new musical that dares to ask, what if the pen is more dangerous than the sword? What if joy itself was the crime? Whispers, they were born in the fire and they danced anyway. 12 original songs, voices silenced. Now sing, love, power, scandal, truth. Premiering Saturday, June 21st. You don't want to miss the moment the world changes. This is not just theatre, this is the reckoning. When they danced in the firelight, only from Majesty, Sussex report.
And darling, joy ain't never shame. So go ahead,
But you believe the papers like they're prophets, not just men.
print the prepare, read the pair, play the game, but never fair. Paint her loud and call it pride. Sell her love and say she lied. Write the tale, never know what's true, what's low. Just let it go. We've got the ink, the reach, the stage. We've got the fury, we've got the rage. Wasn't supposed to dance in the light.
Yeah, so I wrote and composed and have this whole musical that I would love to show to you. It's been really interesting trying to get, and you need to just let your imagination go, because I don't have actors, I don't have a real set or anything like that. So um, I work with what I've got and try my best to make it presentable. I really wanted to sort of bring that musicality and theatricalness to this story, because sometimes what's happening, I take a step back and I'm like, is this for real? Is this really happening, or are we in someone's musical or someone's play, or is this like a telenovela or something? So I really hope you will like it. I hope you will show up next Saturday, 21st. I was thinking at 4 p.m. Eastern, because that will allow our European brothers, sisters, and cousins also to attend, because that would be, for some, it would be around 9 p.m. For some, it might be 10. So I thought for 4 p.m., the 21st might work well. If it doesn't, and you have other suggestions, I welcome them. Please um, put your suggestion in the comment. So we're come, or we we have arrived to the end of today's podcast, and I have a couple of things more. We will end with a song that I'm dedicating to my dad. Um, yeah, it sort of wraps up a lot about my relationship with my dad. And before we go, if you will be so kind and join me in a prayer. Let us pray. O God of mercy, God of justice, God of love that sees what is hidden and holds what is broken. Today we lift up the fathers, the ones who stayed, the ones who tried, the ones who were silent but present, and the ones who had to become fathers without ever having one themselves. We honor the men who work with weathering hands, who carry invisible baggages, who teach not with speeches but with the weight of their witness. We thank you for fathers who listen, who protect without pride, and who give more than they receive. But God, we also cry out for the sons, for the teenage boys searching for worth in all the wrong places, for the ones being led into shadows by men who call power and virtue, who preach dominance instead of dignity, and who have confused masculinity with cruelty. Lord, raise up a generation of fathers and mentors who are not performative but present, who are not proud but anchored in who they are and what it means to be a man. Men who understand that strength is gentleness, that vulnerability is not a weakness, and that to lead, you must first serve. We pray today for those torn from their children by the cruelty, the madness of ICE raids, for the fathers whose hands reached out across fences, who have risked everything, who kissed their babies through barbed wires, who were criminalized for nothing more than seeking safety and a future for their little ones. God, break our hearts for what breaks yours. Let our love extend beyond borders, beyond binaries, beyond blood, skin color, creed, sexuality. Let fatherhood be more than biology or ideology or a set of norms. Let it be a calling to protect, to provide, to stay, to grow, to learn, to listen. And for those who have had no father, for those whose fathers left scars instead of safety, remind them, O Lord, they are not broken. They are not abandoned. They are not alone. Place around them people, men of courage and compassion, and plant in their hearts a new blueprint for healing, for wholeness, for hope. In every culture, in every town, may we say gracias, Papa. Merci, Baba. Thank you, Father. And let every man strive to become not feared, but remembered, not dominant, but devoted. We thank you, O Lord. Have mercy on our souls. protecting and guiding us along the way. This is our prayer. This is our blessing. This is our charge. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Thank you. I love you all. Keep your comments. Bring them on. I love, 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 love. Love everything that we're doing. Love every opportunity that we get to discuss, to have conversations, to elevate us, to learn, to open our eyes. And for us to continuously be humbled, be gracious. And when you extend your hand to a stranger that is in need and help, you're extending a hand to the Lord our God. I leave you with this song dedicated to my dad, my papa. Thank you. Bye for now.
You never said the words out loud, but I heard them in your silence, in the way you worked, in the things you built, in the tears you tried to hide. You'd grumble, you'd groan, you'd turn away, pretending it's all fine. But I saw your love in the smallest things, and I knew that love was mine. Jeweller's hands, a warrior's heart, you left it all behind to love the girl your father shunned and build your own design. They said I'd never make it far, you fought to keep me here. Now every breath I take in peace is because you fought through fear. I see you, Father, even when you turn away. I see the battles that you fought, the price you chose to pay. You don't need to speak, your silence speaks so loud. I see you, Father, and I hope I make you proud. That night at the beach you held my hand and broke beneath the moon, said let me apologize, I never needed proof. But when I saw your eyes in tears, the quiet man revealed that all along your heart had been the place where I could heal. You gave, you worried, you held it in, complained about the day, but somehow still you always came and never walked away. You didn't raise me with big words, you raised me with your spine. And now I live the life I choose because you gave me time. I see you, Father, in your every quiet stand, in the way you showed up, gift in hand, when I never thought you'd care. You may not say it, but I know it's true. El hombre callado, mi padre fiel. Gracias por tu amor tan puro y tan real. You never asked for thanks, but Father, this one's for you.